Let's see. Waiting for a few more people to join us. Hola, buenas noches nuevamente. Soy la señora Dávila. Si necesita esta presentación en inglés, puede seleccionar el icono de interpretación, una bolita que va a ver en el menú de opciones en su pantalla para que usted pueda recibir esta información en español. Okay, so it is 5:30. Let's go ahead and get started. So I'll keep the poll running. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Again, thank you so much for being here with us tonight. I'm Mrs. Davila, and I'm one of the Futurology counselors. And I am here with some of the members of my team as well, and I'll let them introduce themselves in just a second. I'll go over some housekeeping items really quick. If you see any of little icons with the little links on it, that means that there are some websites that are linked up with that particular section, so keep an eye out for that, as especially once we send out the information, and we will be sending to you the slides that we go over, and we will be posting the recording of this presentation on our website. And especially if you registered with us, we will be emailing you all of the details on how to access that information. Y buenas noches, soy la señora Dávila, una de las consejeras con Futurología, y esta noche vamos a tener la presentación en español, así de que si necesita interpretación, por favor seleccione la pelotita en su menú de opciones, va a haber un círculo y por favor seleccione eso para que pueda escuchar esta presentación en español. If you have any questions, please feel free to use the Q&A section to post any questions that you might have, and we will do our best to get to you as soon as possible. Please note that we may answer your questions as we move through the webinar as well. And at the end of the session, we will also allow some time to take some questions. And as I mentioned before, we will be recording this webinar, and we will be making it accessible through our website.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ms. King. I'm one of the Futurology counselors that will be joining this webinar, and I'll hand it off to Ms. Jasso.
Hello, everyone. My name is Laura Jasso, and I am the College and Career Counselor over at San Clemente High School, and I'm very happy to be here tonight.
Thank you. And I see that more members of our community are joining us. Thank you again for joining our webinar today. We will be talking about just a general overview of our community college system, and we will be going over some information about Saddleback College. This is our Futurology team, our entire team. We have three of us here. Ms. Kang and Ms. Hassel just introduced themselves, and we have other counselors who do work. We do have one counselor at each site within our district, each high school site, and we are all credentialed school counselors. We are experts in the college admissions process, and we are very data-driven in how we plan out our supports and our focus throughout the year. And we do provide college and career counseling, one-on-one appointments with students of all grade levels. We do provide school-wide supports as well, especially those tier 1 supports. For example, our seniors currently or in recent months have been working on their financial aid applications. So we do support the entire grade level with help with that application. We also have a website and resource library for you to access information from this year's webinars as well as past webinars. So whenever you get a chance, I encourage you to check that out. We do have every campus has a college and career center. So if you haven't checked one out, we highly encourage you to stop by and visit, even if it's to just say hi and come take a look. We do classroom lessons as well as have bilingual support.
All right. So let's get into what are community colleges. We're going to go over opportunities that you have for your current and graduating high school students at Saddleback, our certificate versus degree options, We'll be going over transfer opportunities and how that works at the community college level, and also all of the student support services that are available to your students at Saddleback and other community colleges. Okay. So there's a stigma that going to community college, you're going nowhere, right? But that cannot be further from the truth. As you can see here, we have some notable former students of our California community colleges. You see Steve Jobs on here, you see Tom Hanks, you see Amy Tan. So we definitely want to put that out there that for our students, it is community college is college, okay? So we're going to get into all of the colleges that are available to you here in California, okay? All right, so there are 116 different public institutions across California. They are open admission, which means that everyone gets in, right? So California colleges were designed to give all students access to four-year colleges, okay? It is also really important to note that they are, our community colleges are also for concurrent enrollment, meaning that they have classes available to high school students. Career education certificates, you can gain one of those also at a community college. Your two-year degrees, an AA or an AS is what they would be called, transfer to four-year colleges, and also some will offer even some BA and BS degrees at the community college level. It is a very strong pathway towards the UC and Cal State systems and just a transfer overall. So let's get into some of your options, okay? Okay, so just in Southern California, as you can see, we have so many options for college. So you see here, we all know about Saddleback, right? It's our local community college, but there's also Irvine Valley College, Santa Ana College. They have a sister campus, which is San Diego Canyon College, and Orange Coast College is another one that our students frequent as well. And community, like we went over, community college is college, right? So you don't have to go to your local one. You want to go to the one that fits you best. So we're going to get into some of the programs. For example, at OCC, they have a very strong welding program. So several of my students here at San Clemente that I know are interested in the welding program will not go to Saddleback. They will go to OCC. So it's important that your student does that research and to know exactly where they want to go. Okay, so why community college? One, it's a great option for it to be job ready within 2 years or less, okay? So getting a 2-year degree can help you make money right away, and it can have you making a pretty good salary after you finish that program. They have flexible classes that fit a busy schedule. So most of our students will commute and live at home. And also they work while they're in college, right? So that flexible schedule is really important because they can take night classes, they can take classes on the weekends. They have Saturday classes at most of our community colleges. So another thing to remember is that it's a lower cost of college, and that's a great option for our students. If they're doing the Promise program and they're utilizing that program for the first 2 years, that's free for them, right? So it's a great option to save money for the first 2 years and also to commute and not have to spend on living off campus. It's also a second chance at getting into a four-year college of your choice. There are a lot of our students who opt for this. They really want to get into UCI or they really want to go to UCLA, and it didn't happen in high school, right? So community college is a great way to do that. About our last school year, they had about 90% of students who were in the honors program at Saddleback got into UCLA. So that's a really high number for students who are really wanting to go to their dream school. And another reason that students sometimes go to community colleges, right, is a career change. There's students who go to a four-year college and go for one degree and then decide, this really isn't for me. And community college gives you that option to explore other opportunities. Okay, so We have talked about what to do after high school, but as a high school student, you can take advantage of community college now. Okay, so we're going to get into how you would do that. So one is that you can earn college credit. You can start earning it now as a high school student, and you want to do your best, because one thing that a lot of students don't understand or that don't know, right, is that um, when you're taking a community college course, even in high school, that stays on your permanent record. Okay, so we always encourage our students that are taking classes at Saddleback to make sure to just do their best, right? And it's also, if you're deciding that you're going to be applying to four-year colleges straight after high school, it's a great way for you to gain a competitive edge, right, for college admissions. You're demonstrating academic rigor and curiosity outside of just your high school classes. So that's another reason that our students might want to go take a class at Saddleback. And also that if you're undecided about your future career goals, you can really explore taking a class at the community college level and seeing if that's for you, right? And then you can make a better decision about what you want to do with your future. Okay, so college courses while you're in high school. If you take courses that are within the number sequences of 1 to 99, those are transferable to a UC. And if you take courses with number sequences from 1 to 199, then those are transferable to Cal States, okay? So again, we just like to reiterate this because most students don't know that, right? Is that we always encourage them to do their best on these classes because they stay on your college transcript. The one good thing about taking classes while you're in high school is that your enrollment fees are waived. So it's essentially free to high school students. So you want to take advantage of that. You might still be responsible for paying for, books and materials for the class. There's typically a health fee or a parking fee, right? But other than that, the tuition itself is free to high school students. So here at Capistrano Unified, we have what you'd call College at Capo, right? And this is such a great opportunity for our students because they're Saddleback courses taught on our Capo campuses, and they're taught by actual Saddleback professors. So what you see here on the screen now is the fall 2023 schedule, but the schedule for fall 2024 is coming out pretty soon. And again, this is considered dual enrollment, so your tuition and book fees are waived. And all courses are, again, just a reminder, they stay on your record. So there are different campuses, as you can see here. There are sometimes 1 to 3 times a week, and some are during the day, some are after school. So it would just depend on the class that you're taking. Okay, so for concurrent enrollment, these are going to be the steps that you take. So if you are interested in taking a community college class now, the first thing you would do is apply online to Saddleback College, and you'll apply as a K through 12 student, okay? After you apply, you will receive an email with your student ID. Once you've received that, you would submit a K through 12 special admission request form that you would find in the guidance office or with your counselor. And you make sure that all signatures are included and your school seal is on it, okay? The next step would be to register for the class that you're interested in. If the course has a prerequisite, that must be cleared prior to enrollment. So remember to talk to your counselor about this and submit a prerequisite evaluation request form. And lastly, you would be paying for your fees. So whatever fee, the health fee or parking fee, the fees that we talked about a little earlier. And then those need to be paid before the class starts or you would be dropped from the class, okay? Okay, now we're going to get into certificates and degrees with Miss Heidi.
Thank you, Ms. Hasso. Okay, so I'm going to take a pause before we move on. There is a question, why do classes get canceled at high school? Well, typically, if we're referring to college courses offered within the high school, oftentimes for the same reason that some courses at the community college level might end up closing up or not being offered. It often has to do with not having enough students enrolled in a particular class. I mean, there might be other reasons, but that tends to be the major reason, not having enough students available to take part in the class. So I know it's unfortunate and upsetting when there's a class that potentially is going to be available, but if there aren't enough students who sign up for a class, unfortunately, sometimes it's just not possible to offer it. Okay, so I want to stress one more time, taking a course as a high school student is a great opportunity to, yes, begin to explore potential career options, or for those of us that are unsure of what major we want to study, that is a great way to start taking introductory level courses in administration of justice, if you're considering that, or sociology, if maybe you're thinking sociology. However, just keep in mind that, yes, you are starting at that point your college GPA. So we want to make sure that once you commit, you're committing all the way and you're going to do your best. Because that GPA will start to follow you once you go onto the college level. But it is a great opportunity, a great way to demonstrate to colleges that you are capable of doing well at a college level class, especially if you are looking at transferable Cal State UC transferable courses that will transfer to the four-year college system. So I'm going to transition now to the difference between a certificate and a degree. And when we talk about degrees at the local community college, we are talking about the Associate of Science or the Associate of Art degrees. And there are also what is known as the associate degree for transfer. So I'm going to just touch a little bit on those. Again, the goal is for you to just have a general awareness of what's out there within our community college system. And I always encourage you, whatever community college you have your heart set on, make sure you are visiting their websites, make sure that you are visiting their campuses, that you're talking with a college counselor at the particular college that you're interested in, so that you can learn as much as possible about the particular school. In terms of certificates, certificates are usually completed within a shorter amount of time when compared to a two-year degree, an associate degree. And they tend to be a lot more focused on career or technical information skills that you are learning. Also, they tend to be very much major specific focused. So the entire coursework that you are taking is going to be focused in on only the career or technical education that you're focusing on. So for example, if you are doing a welding certificate, then you will only be taking welding classes, or an auto technician certificate. You're only taking auto technician classes. You are not taking any math, any English, any science, history, none of that. It is only the career, the technical skills that you need to learn to be successful in the career that you're planning for. So no GEs, and oftentimes I have students who will tell me, Ms. Davila, I am so over school. I do not want to write another essay ever again. I don't want to take math anymore. I just want to get my certificate and jump straight into the workforce. Then you may want to consider certificates. Some students will start off with their certificate, and then as they join the workforce, realize that they want to promote, and perhaps within that specific field, promoting requires or would be beneficial to have a degree. And so students will opt to return and continue working on their degrees. So there are so many different ways to get to a final career goal. And a lot of students will opt to start off at the certificate level. But again, these are trade, technical, usually very skills specific courses that you are taking. No general ed related coursework. And then we have our associate degrees at the local community college level. So every community college will offer different associate degrees. One community college may have an associate degree in a particular subject area, in a particular field, that another community college may not. And so this is why we do encourage you to explore the community college system, see what's out there. If Saddleback doesn't have the career or the major that you're looking to earn a degree in, then explore other campuses that do. And so within the associate degrees, there are the Associate of Science and the Associate of Arts. And so I do often get that question, what's the difference? And oftentimes the Associate of Arts tends to be very much focused on liberal arts, general education study type courses, whereas the Associate of Science degrees tend to have more of a focus on science, on perhaps a professional related field, for example, business or computer science type courses. So it really just depends on the subject and the major that you're considering. And it usually will take 2 years. And I say usually because it is set out to be completed within a 2-year time frame, especially if you are taking 15 units each semester. At the end of the year of your first year, complete 30 units. At the end of your second year, complete another 30, a total of 60 units to complete your requirements for your degree. However, something to consider if you are not taking your maximum unit load, if you are going to school part-time, or if you don't do well in a class and you have to retake it, it does extend your time at the community college level. But it is possible to complete within 2 years, as long as you're passing your classes the first time around and you're taking the maximum units needed to complete the 60 total units at the end of the 2 years. And the associate degrees do, think of it as a pie as you see on the screen. They include general education courses. They will include major specific courses. And if there are still courses that you need to get to that 60 unit mark, you will take elective courses as well as school-based graduation requirements. For example, there might be a fitness course requirement, 2 or 3 units of fitness, or that you have to take some type of health-related class. So it's very campus specific. And so you would just need to make sure that you complete all of those requirements, just like when you're in high school earning your diploma, you got to make sure you complete all of those diploma requirements in order to earn a degree. And then we also have, for those of us who are considering transfer, there is a pathway for you to complete an associate degree for transfer. And so what happens here is that you are taking a combination of major specific courses as well as general education courses. And these courses from the general education courses that you're picking from have to be courses that are transferable to the 4-year college system. And so we do encourage you to, whatever community college you are considering, make sure that you're meeting with a community college counselor so that you're double checking and cross-referencing and making sure that you're taking the appropriate classes that will meet the requirements for the ADT degree, both the major specific as well as the general ed specific coursework. So again, within the associate degree for transfers, we have the associate degree for art and the associate degree for transfer, associate degree in science for transfer. And let's see, again, it's very major specific. So the major related courses depends on what focus you are, is your focus. So if you're doing an administration of justice associate degree for transfer, you would be taking your general ed classes along with your administration of justice courses. And these degrees do support a transfer pathway between the California Community College system and the CSU system. And those of you who want to make sure that you are getting ready for both Cal States and UCs, please make sure you're meeting with a California Community College counselor and that you're communicating that to them so that they can best advise you on which GE courses you should be choosing from and which major classes, the 4-year schools that you're considering transferring to, what courses they want you to take at the college level to complete your 60 total units to be able to transfer. And all right, that's it. Let's keep moving on. So in terms of certificate of achievement, so those of us who want to only earn the certificate, we are going to be focusing on career technical related courses only. These courses will demonstrate that you have proficiency in the skills and knowledge that is required for entry-level employment or for career advancement, if that's the reason why you decide to go back and earn a certificate. And oftentimes a certificate of achievement is a credit earning certificate. And this will show that you have more knowledge than a general high school student would with just a high school diploma. So this would definitely help out for those of you who are wanting to get directly into the workforce fairly quickly. Okay, and then up on the screen, we are showcasing some of the certificates that are available at Saddleback College. So we do have at Saddleback College, you will find certificates in accounting and administrative assisting, ASL interpreting, as well as architecture. And you will see also foods, nutrition certificates, as well as medical assisting. So a lot of great options at Saddleback Community College. Something that I did want to point out, oftentimes students who are considering going directly into a four-year college do decide to work on a certificate. This is a great way to show that you can demonstrate your love for learning and you wanting to learn more about a specific career field or gaining more specialized knowledge and skills in a particular field. Okay. And in terms of Associate of Arts and the Associate of Science, so these degrees are conferred at the local community college. So whatever community college you're attending is going to have their own specific graduation requirements, their specific Associate of Art, Associate of Science degree requirements. So make sure that you are, as a new student, I encourage you to become familiar with the school's catalog. Every college will have a college catalog where they will talk about the different certificates, the different degrees, the specific requirements. If anything changes, the catalog would be the place to find that information, and always visiting a community college counselor every semester. I cannot stress that enough. Again, things change all the time, and so it helps to make sure that you are in the know and that a counselor is often looking over your coursework, making sure that you're on track to complete your educational goal. And again, the distinction between the AA and the AS really lies in the major and your specific field of study that you are focusing on. At Saddleback, the Associate in Arts degree includes at least 8 units in social science, humanities, and arts courses. And the Associate of Science includes at least 18 units in science, math, and technical courses. Now, those of us who are interested in transfer, some students want to go to a community college so that they take advantage of the 2 years free tuition immediately after high school. And it's a great way to complete your general ed coursework along with any major specific courses that you need to take to be able to transfer to a 4-year college. And again, I encourage you to meet with a community college counselor, especially those of us who are graduating seniors. You should be meeting with a community college counselor now. If you haven't already, I highly encourage you to get that done as soon as possible, especially before registration, before you start having to register for your classes. 1, so that you know what classes you should be taking in the fall. And 2, so that you are ready to register as soon as your registration date comes around. And you don't miss that and then risk having the classes that you wanted to take already get filled up because you waited too long. So definitely, if you're a graduating senior, make sure that you are meeting with a community college counselor if you haven't already. And so the transfer pathways do include the ADT pathway that will definitely create a streamlined pathway to our California State University 4-year public school system. There is also what is called the Transfer Admission Guarantee Program. And these are, this is commonly known as the TAG program or the TAG agreement that is made between within different UCs, and we'll go over that information in more detail in just a second. And then the AICCU transfer commitment for those of us who are considering or looking at privates or private independent out-of-state schools. Okay. So at the Cal State, so those of us considering transferring into the Cal State system, as I mentioned, there is the associate degree for transfer. It may be an AAT or an AST, depending on the major that you're looking at a particular college that you're looking at. And so these degrees are intended for students who want to complete a bachelor's degree in a similar major at a CSU campus. So those of you who are at the community college system, you will walk away with a 2-year degree, as well as having completed the requirements to be able to transfer into a 4-year college. And completing an ADT degree, whether it's an AAT or an AST, will guarantee admission to the CSU system, but not to a particular major or campus of choice. So that is something to consider. That you are applying to the CSU system. You would apply to the particular campus that you're applying to, but the program as it is does not necessarily guarantee you admission to a particular campus, but it will guarantee admission to the CSU system. And then the TAG agreement, transfer admission guarantee. This is an agreement or a program that is only offered at 6 of the UC campuses, and those UC campuses include UC Davis, UC Irvine, UC Merced, UC Riverside, UC Santa Barbara, and UC Santa Cruz. And there is a matrix that exists that you can access. And again, when you visit the local community college transfer website, that is most often the place where you will for sure find the TAG information. You have to look, yes, do those campuses will offer a TAG agreement, but the next thing you want to check is, will they offer a TAG agreement in the particular major that you're interested in? So at a particular campus, for example, they may not offer computer science as part of the TAG agreement. So something to kind of keep an eye out for as well. And again, always meet with a community college counselor, especially those of you who are graduating seniors. As soon as you meet with them, come in ready to talk about which UCs you're interested in applying to for what major, and that'll definitely help the counselor better advise you or counsel you in the course selection process. And the TAG agreement will offer guaranteed admission to community college students who do meet the specific requirements that are outlined on the TAG agreement. And you want to make sure that you are aware and that you're asking about the Transfer Admission Planner, also known as TAP. The Transfer Admission Planner is pretty much an account that you can create to start tracking your progress and meeting your goals, your classes that you need to meet to be able to transfer to the UC system. So I highly encourage you to search that up as soon as you, especially those graduating seniors that are about to embark on their next level of pursuing their educational goal. If your goal is to transfer and you want to go into a UC, start asking about the TAP, the Transfer Admission Planner, and start your account. And then the AICCU is the Associate of Independent California Colleges and Universities. And these are universities who have gotten together and have essentially created a transfer commitment or have extended a transfer pathway similar to the Cal State ADT program. So the ADT commitment is what they call it, and it is the Independent California Colleges and University Sector's adaptation of the ADT pathway. And it's important to remember that these institutions are not part of a system. They are very much independent individual universities. And so you will need to make sure that you're checking in with each one in terms of what their requirements are to transfer, because they all have their own admission requirements as well as their own graduation requirements. And if an ADT transfer student meets all of the requirements of admission to a participating institution, admission is guaranteed to that one institution. This is not like the Cal State system where you're guaranteed admission to the system. It's to that particular campus. And so please make sure you're meeting with a counselor at all times, letting them know if you're considering an independent school, a private school, whether it's in California or outside of California, private or public, HBCU college. Make sure they're aware so that they can let you know if there are any articulation agreements or any transfer pathways available to assist you in meeting the requirements to transfer. Okay, and so now I'm gonna hand it over to Miss Linda King.
Thank you, Ms. Davila. All right, so I'm going to be covering the student programs and support services, and we will make this section of our presentation specific to Saddleback College only because it is the college, community college that is closest to us and that our students attend, the majority of our students attend. Many of these services and programs are pretty similar across the states. So regionally as well, across the other community colleges, many of them will offer similar programs, if not the same. So first off, we wanted to cover the Promise program because this is something that's very important and helpful. We want all of our students to fully utilize and be a part of the Promise program. So what does the Promise program do at Saddleback? The most important thing it does is that it pays for the first 2 years of college. So students who have never attended college, this is your first time that you will be attending college as a graduating senior, you are eligible. And even if you took concurrent enrollment classes at Saddleback during your high school years, if this is the first time you're attending college as a full-time college student, you are eligible for the Promise program. So the Promise program also covers some additional fees in addition to the tuition. They will cover registration fees. They will also give you up to $300 to cover for book costs. And it also covers the health and student involvement fees on campus. And there are additional supports through the Promise program. For example, you can get a Chromebook. So if you need a Chromebook, you can get one through the Learn to Earn program. You will also be matched up to a success coach to kind of help support you in your journey throughout community college. Then there are other specialized services. Sorry, before I go to the specialized programs, I just want to cover how you apply for the Promise program. We do get this question quite often. So the first thing you'll need to do is complete the Saddleback application, which is now it is open for the fall semester. So you will complete the application, and in one of the supplemental questions on the application, it'll ask you if you are interested in the Promise program. So make sure that you are selecting yes, that you are interested on that question. And the second part of this is you will need to fill out the financial aid application. So the FAFSA, or if you do not have a social security number, then you will be filling out the California Dream Act application. There are no income requirements. You just need to complete the application in order to qualify for the Promise program. So the Saddleback application and then the FAFSA or CADA. Going back to the specialized programs, there are different programs on campus to help you with your goals or depending on what kind of support you need. So the honors program is available at Saddleback. It's a preferential transfer consideration to students who are completing the honors program. So there's an additional sets of requirements for those students in this program that they need to fulfill. And as they do that, they will be kept on track for transferring, and also they might be given also preferential consideration during the transfer process. The EOPS program is the Educational Opportunity Program Services, which for students who are experiencing any educational disadvantages, financial disadvantages, if you are first generation to college and you just need some more support in how to navigate college, signing up for classes, what kind of classes you need. You might need a little bit more financial assistance. The EOPS program is great for that. They will provide over and above services for these students. And lastly, DSPS students are support services for students with disabilities. So in high school, if you do have an IEP or 504 and need additional services, the DSPS department will be great for you to kind of continue. It probably won't be the same level of support that you received in high school, but it will be adapted to the college level where you can get some support services for your disabilities. So there's also lots of academic supports on campus. At Saddleback, there's the Learning Resource Center where they provide free tutoring. You can drop in or do one-on-one tutoring, group tutoring. There's also ESL conversation groups. So if you are an English learner and you'd like to practice your English conversation, there are groups for that. And there's also some skills workshops that are led by fellow peers. So if you want to develop any skills, whether that be just, some social skills or skills needed for careers, etc., you can attend any of these workshops. Okay, so here are some tips. I know Ms. Davila emphasized this, but please meet with a counselor at least once every semester. So as you go through community college, really students have to be the ones to take the initiative to meet with a counselor. There's not going to be like these classroom presentations from counselors like we do in high school. So you have to be the ones to seek out an appointment with your counselor. As you meet with them, make sure to update them if your goals have changed, right? So we talked about different goals and different options that you have at the community college, which are many. You can get a certificate and be done. You can get an associate's degree and be done. You can get an associate's degree in order to transfer. And so because there's so many different options at the community colleges, make sure you're updating your counselor with what your goals are. That way they can adapt your plan and the classes that you may need in order to achieve the goals that you need to achieve. If you're a high school student going in with AP or IB credit, make sure you notify them of that because those credits are, depending on the scores that you received on your AP exams or your IB exams, those will translate into college credits at community college. Create a transfer admissions planner account. So if you are considering transferring to the UCs, make a transfer admission planner. So this will help keep you on top of all of the classes that you need to hit in order to meet your transfer requirements. There are also UC representatives coming onto campus at the community colleges to meet with students and to help them do their transfer requirements or map out what's needed in order to transfer. And then during the application process, they will also help with the applications as well. So meet with the UC representatives. And there's a dedicated center. There should be a dedicated transfer center pretty much across all of the community colleges, at least in our regional area. And the transfer center will help you meet your transfer requirements and help answer any questions you may have regarding transferring from the 2-year to a different 4-year school. Or also frequently visit your career centers because this is going to be the place that helps you they might get you the career skills you need. They might help you with your resume and have some resources for the careers that you might need to for the careers that you're interested in pursuing. They may have some resources regarding that. Any job opportunities, if you need a job while you're on campus, or you need some internship opportunities in your particular subject areas, they may be able to help with these as well. So they host a lot of different workshops and events, just like Futureology does. So please make sure to take advantage of these. And then lastly, attend office hours with professors. So what this is it's almost like a tutorial period, right? Instead of having a dedicated period for that, professors have what's called office hours where they have an open office. And this is when you can just visit them to ask them about any, questions that you may have regarding the lectures or whatever subject matters are being discussed in class. If you have any questions regarding that, you can also develop a relationship with your professors this way so that if you end up transferring or for a job or an internship, you need letters of recommendation, then they will have that personal relationship with you where they can write you a letter of recommendation. These professors may also have some research opportunities that you're unaware of. But if you visit them during office hours, it may come up in conversation. Professors may offer you some opportunity to get involved in their own research that they may be working on or any projects that they might have to help develop you and your time and your studies. So make sure to attend these office hours as well and take advantage of that. Okay, some important dates and deadlines. So at Saddleback College, the summer schedule is now out. So if you just Google Saddleback summer schedule, then their schedule of classes are online and live for this upcoming summer session. Now there are different summer sessions available. So like we covered in the beginning of the presentation, if you just want to kind of see, what classes are out there, whether it's for enrichment or to start exploring different career pathways, then these classes are available for you. You will need to get a K-12 form approved by your high school counselor in order to take these classes. So take a look at the schedule of classes, see what's available, and make sure to get that form signed before we get out on summer break so that you can take these classes during the summer. The fall semester will begin August 19th at Saddleback, and it goes all the way up until December 20th. So on the week of April 8th is when those schedule of classes will go live. So you'll be able to see and view all of the fall classes on the week of April 8th. By May 7th, our graduating seniors are encouraged to complete the matriculation process. So after you submit the Saddleback application, you will receive an email to set up your My Site, which is the college portal. And on this portal, you will have to complete some matriculation steps. So for example, completing the orientation, looking at your academic plan to help map out your classes. So these are steps that you need to complete before you can register and actually enroll into the classes that you need to do. So we encourage all of our seniors to do this by May 7th. The K-12 special admission request form that I just talked about, if you are still a high school student just wanting to do Saddleback classes, then you need to get your K-12 form approved by August 8th. And then if you're considering the second chunk of the 8-week classes for the fall, then you can have until October 10th for those K through 12 forms. Okay, and I know we talked in length about Saddleback College just because it's the one that's closest to most of our district students, but there are other colleges in our area with very popular programs. So Santa Ana College has some of these programs that may not be available at Saddleback. If any of these are, within driving distance for you and you're able to make it to some of these classes, they're great. So Irvine Valley is one that has a partnership with Saddleback College. So they are sister colleges. If you're interested in like law enforcement or design and rapid prototyping, which I know we offer those classes at some of our high school sites as well. So if you want to kind of continue those studies, then Irvine Valley has some cool classes for that. Orange Coast is another really popular one with our students located in Costa Mesa. They're great. They're one of the only community colleges to also offer housing on campus. So if you are a graduating senior looking for a community college where you can kind of get an housing experience as well, then Orange Coast might be a great one for you. They have some great industrial tech programs. So anything like welding, architecture. They also have aviation, which is really great. So if you want to become a pilot or if you're thinking of like the aviation industry, and also it's one of 2 community colleges with also radiologic technology classes. So if you want to be an ultrasound tech or a cardiovascular tech, these kinds of classes are only available at Orange Coast. And then the other one is Cypress College in the Cerritos area. So some community colleges offer 4-year degrees or may have partnership with 4-year institutions. Like Orange Coast, for example, has a partnership with some 4 years for their aviation program. So really look into those as well. And you can see that list of approved bachelor's degree programs through some community colleges that will be available on this presentation as well. Okay, and that wraps up our session for today. I know some questions have been flowing in. We'll stick around to answer any other questions that you may have. Please
Yeah.
feel free to email us at any time and also follow us on Instagram. But
I did want to address a couple.
Yeah.
So questions came out about the associate degree for transfer and, how do I know who has it, who doesn't? Not every campus will offer a specific associate degree for transfer. So you really have to look at their programs, what programs, what degrees are they offering at the particular community college. Not all Cal States will have an ADT pathway. So one way to figure out where do those opportunities exist within the major that you're looking for is by looking at the associate degree for transfer major and career search, which I added the link through the webinar chat. And so this webpage will allow you to search, what Cal States, what community colleges offer a particular associate degree for transfer in the particular major that you're looking for. So highly encourage you to utilize that. Also, there's a question about how do I know what classes to take for my particular major if I want to go on to a four-year college. So assist.org is a good website to use as a resource to understand, based on the UC Cal State that you want to transfer to and based on the major that you want to transfer into, what courses are they wanting you to take at the local community college system. Oftentimes taking those major specific coursework will help you look much more competitive when applying for transfer. So I do encourage you, visit assist.org. If your goal is to transfer, you should be very familiar with this website, as well as your local community college's catalog, and any specific requirements that they may have in place, for example, for the ADT degree. Is an example. Let's see, which UCs accept computer science transfer. So assist.org would be a great tool to use to start off your search. So it will ask you to select what community college are you attending, and then what four-year institution you want to transfer to. Then from there, it'll ask you what major are you looking for, and then it'll show you the courses that are articulated between those two institutions for the specific major field of study that you are looking into. So I do encourage you to take a look at that so that you can become familiar and that you're making sure that you're taking those courses. There was another question as well. Can a student apply for 3 different programs? And I wasn't quite sure as well, if this question meant like 3 different majors or 3 different programs like EOPS, the honors program, and DSPS, for example. So I guess I'll answer both. 3 majors at the same time, fields of study. Typically, the community colleges will want you to select one educational goal and one major that you are focusing on. However, it is possible, especially if you're meeting with a community college counselor who can best advise you on this, you can be working on courses that you may need for multiple programs. Now, if the question was, can I apply to more than one program in terms of like EOPS, DSPS, the honors program, you are able to apply to those programs. And if you meet the eligibility to be part of the program, then you would find out after you apply. But you won't know unless you apply. And I did want to again stress, especially for those graduating seniors, the Promise program is not income-based, but you do have to submit your FAFSA. And the reason I want to stress that is because the priority deadline in California is coming up on April 2nd. So if you have not submitted your FAFSA, I do highly encourage you to do that as soon as possible. And question about transfer to non-UCs Cal State schools. I always encourage you, make sure you're meeting with a college rep, regardless of what institution you're thinking of transferring to, but particularly if you're thinking of going into a private or out of state, because there may not be a specific pathway that has been already laid out for you. So you want to make sure you're talking to an advisor from the receiving institution, from the institution that you want to transfer to, just to double check and make sure that you are on the right path. That's all I wanted to bring up. Let's check. Are there any other questions? Do Saddleback offer minors? And if so the best way to find out whether a campus, whether it's Saddleback or any community college, offers the major or the degree or their certificate is by looking at their catalog. So I do encourage you to visit their catalog. That's where you will find all of the requirements for the certificate, the associate degrees, the regular or the transfer ADT degrees, and to find out what programs are available to begin with, what majors of study. Is it advantageous to do the IB program if you're thinking on doing the Promise program and transferring later on? The IB program, just like AP program, and I believe that's what this question is referring to, the International Baccalaureate program. It's a great way to definitely be college ready, right? It's a rigorous curriculum. The local community college is a college, and so you are often being taught by professors, instructors who also work at the four-year college level. And so taking at A through G's, APs, honors, IB classes are definitely going to be beneficial regardless of what direction you decide to go to after you graduate high school.
I just want to add to that for that IB program. So if you are applying as a transfer student, then just know that you're going to be applying as a transfer based on the transfer requirements. So they're at that point as a transfer student, they're not really looking at your high school transcript or basing evaluation based off of that. Your evaluation will be based off of the transfer requirements that you have fulfilled at the community college, which includes the IGETC and then any major preparation coursework that you've done.
So essentially you start over, right? So, but having that strong academic foundation is definitely going to help. Okay, let's see. I think we've answered when you're applying. Oh, great question. When you apply to the California Community College, do you apply for the tag at the time with Promise program or later? So it is, yeah, so they're totally different things, right? You definitely apply to the Promise program, submit your FAFSA early on. It is beneficial to know what is part of that tag agreement so that you know what courses you should be taking, so that when you're sitting with your counselor, you're letting them know, I want to apply for the tag program at this school for this major. Can we cross-reference the courses to make sure that I'm on the right path, and you can create your academic or educational plan. However, to formally apply for the tag program, that happens later on once you have you're ready to apply for transfer. And so it doesn't happen automatically when you start your college education. It does help though to know what those requirements are so that you can plan your coursework. Okay. Well, I don't see any other questions, and it was fantastic being here with you tonight. I hope that you are walking away with new bits of information, and I encourage you to visit the local community college that you are considering and asking questions specifically as they pertain to that community college. Okay, and so